Thank you for once again tuning in with 28 days. We're really celebrating our history, our heritage, our culture, and our stories. And on the set today, we have Mr. James Imes with us today. Welcome to the set.
Thank you.
James, give us a background on who you are, man.
Well, I'm originally from Bessemer City, North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
And I went to undergraduate at Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
So I was there for 4 years, studying theater. And then I came to Temple to get an MFA in acting, and I've been working as a professional actor, director, and playwright in the Philadelphia region for probably the last 7 or 8 years. And now I am assistant professor of theater here at Villanova.
Wow, we don't really think of theater when it comes to Villanova. What was some of the cultural differences that you saw coming from a southern state up to a northern state?
Well, for me, I mean, where I grew up was pretty rural.
Okay.
So my extended family was very much a part of my life. Aunts, uncles, great aunts, great uncles, cousins were my playmates with my sisters. So my extended family was very close and actually lived very close to each other. So when I moved up here, the sense of family was a little bit more dispersed.
Okay.
It was much more focused on mom, dad, children, the nuclear family. So that was one of the major things. Finding a church home has been difficult since I've been here.
Okay.
I don't know, just like my sense of what a church is very attached to the Southern Baptist, a Bapstochi, as I like to call it, because I'm like part Pentecostal. There's a little bit of that in there. That was another thing. Community is the sense of community is similar, but just how families work, and for me, the finding of a church was difficult when I got up here, but I did find one.
So how did you navigate Morehouse, Temple, and now Villanova, Southern, Northern, that kind of thing? What were some of the nuances that you had to deal with?
Yeah, well, Morehouse is a very special thing.
Okay.
It pulls things out of you that you don't even know are there.
Okay.
So that was just sort of like a refiner's fire. I like to call it that.
Okay.
It's this place where you go and you leave the Morehouse man. Like that's real. Like people talk about it, but it's a real thing.
Okay.
Temple is like conservatory. It was a conservatory training program, so it was all about the craft, all about the work. So my sense of identity sort of got tied into me being an actor.
Okay.
And I'm, on some level, I feel like I lost a little bit of who I was for a moment in that program, because it's all about washing away the things that sometimes make you, the way you speak, your regionalism.
Okay.
All of those things sort of get beaten out of you, the way you sit, the way you stand. It's all about trying
From
to
an
make
actor
you,
standpoint?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just simply from an actor standpoint.
Okay.
And then I started working, and I realized that, the way people see me is the way people have always seen me.
Okay.
So how do you allow your actor training to meet the person that you are?
Okay.
So I went through this other phase of figuring out what a black male actor is, and how you do that, and how to do that in a way that is self-sustaining and not crippling or dangerous, as I like to call it, where you sort of lose yourself and you sort of find yourself again. And then Villanova. I have a lot of friends that went to Villanova, and it has an incredible reputation.
Okay.
I knew that I wanted to teach, and I knew I wanted to teach somewhere in the region. And I think the beautiful thing about me being at Villanova is that I get to, expose people to some things that maybe they haven't been exposed to before, and that's always great. Like how you get to be the mouthpiece for things that maybe are a little silent.
So you went from majority one culture black, then you went to a very diverse group, Temple, and then a majority white culture.
Yeah.
Just expound on that as we wrap this thing up.
Oh man.
That's a
the interesting thing about working in the theater is that I am usually one of a very few people of color in any given room. So I've been sort of operating in that vein for a while. Philly is a pretty diverse city. Theater community is not as diverse as the city is, I would say. So I don't know. I mean, it's for me. You move through the space being the person that you want people to see you, as. Like, you dispel the mythology, you dispel the stereotype just by your carriage sometimes, I think.
What are you working on now?
Well, tonight, in hours,
Okay.
the play that I directed for Villanova opens tonight. It's called Michael and Edie, and it runs for 2 weeks. It's played by a new playwright named Rachel Bonds. She's really exciting, about these two young people that meet in a bookstore and fall in love, and that gets complicated by their families, things that are going on in their family life. So that's the most current thing right now. Also a part of a playwrights organization in Philly called Orbiter 3. It's a sort of a playwright producing organization where over the course of 3 years we produce one play from each playwright as a way of taking control of our work, so that you won't have to wait for someone to say, yes, we'll do your play. We'll just do the plays. So that's the big project outside of Villanova.
What are some of the ways people can get in contact with you?
Well, they can reach me through the department here at Villanova. Do you want like
email address?
Email address?
Yeah.
Well, my Villanova email address is james.imes, which is spelled IJAMES. So it's james.ijames@villanova.edu. And they can always get in touch with me there. I have a website, www.jamesimes.com, and they can find out everything that I'm doing and anything that's new or anything that's on the horizon. It's all there, and anything I've done is also there too.
That's good. Falling in love at a bookstore. Hey, thank you once again for tuning in 28 days where we're celebrating our heritage, our culture, and our stories. And we look forward to you coming back. And thank you coming to the set again, James. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.